Do you remember the last time you felt truly free and fulfilled? Somewhere between those endless summer days and your morning commute, something changed. But here's what nobody tells you. Life didn't stop being fun because you grew up. It stopped being fun because you're playing the wrong game. Before we go on to explore how you've been playing this game all wrong, let's quickly look at the remarkable story of Harold Hal Elrod. The poignant story of Harold Hal Elrod powerfully illustrates life's unrelenting forward momentum. At age 20, Hal was a successful salesman when a drunk driver hit his car head-on at 70 miles per hour. He was clinically dead for 6 minutes, suffered 11 broken bones, permanent brain damage, and was told he would never walk again. There was no restart button to undo that devastating night in December.
So December 3rd, 1999, we went home that night, and about 11:30 at night we got a call from Hal's good friend Jeremy, and he had indicated that Hal had been in a car accident.
So the night of Hal's accident, we were at a conference and we were coming back from it. He gets in the car, I get in my car, and we head out. He got ahead of me and I caught a red light.
The drunk driver was going 80 miles an hour.
Someone crossed the median and hit them head on.
And I talked to Jeremy. I told him to tell Hal that we loved him and, that he had to hang in there and that, we were all coming.
Yet instead of being consumed by what couldn't be changed, Hal had to grapple with the irreversible reality of his situation. He shocked his doctors by walking again after just 3 weeks. But the deeper lesson came from accepting that some changes, like his permanent brain damage and metal rod in his leg, were permanent markers of that night. This led him to develop what he later called the 5-minute rule, allowing yourself to feel negative emotions about unchangeable circumstances for exactly 5 minutes, then saying can't change it, and focusing on what you can impact moving forward. Hal went on to write The Miracle Morning, start a global movement, and later beat an aggressive cancer with a 20% survival rate. Not by wishing for a reset button, but by fully accepting and working with his new reality each time. His story viscerally demonstrates how life's one-way trajectory forces us to grow through, rather than go around our challenges. Today, Hal openly shares how his permanent injuries and ongoing health challenges remain daily reminders that while we can't rewrite our past, we can always author our response to it. Think of life like a video game for a moment. In a video game, you have clear objectives, defined rules, visible progress, and chosen challenges. However, there are a few differences between life and a video game. In a video game, you level up an imaginary character to simulate blissful aspects of life that take risk and effort to obtain. The rules of a video game are plain and simple. You choose a fun game to play and play it. In life, you level up your character, but there isn't a restart button. Your actions have consequences. You have fun by taking on a challenge that demands a specific skill set and tests your abilities. Life's irreversible nature stands in stark contrast to our digital age of endless undos and quick resets. Each decision, like a stone cast into still waters, creates ripples that extend far beyond our immediate perception, altering the fabric of our existence and those around us. This psychological phenomenon, which Carl Jung termed synchronicity, suggests that our choices weave an intricate tapestry of cause and effect, where even seemingly insignificant actions can catalyze profound transformations. As Søren Kierkegaard observed, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. A reminder that unlike a video game save point, we cannot reload previous versions of our lives to try different paths. The weight of this reality triggers what existential psychologists call temporal anxiety, the profound awareness that each moment is both precious and permanent, compelling us to navigate our journey with mindful intention rather than casual disregard. The absence of a reset button serves as both our greatest vulnerability and our most powerful motivator, pushing us toward authentic living and conscious decision-making in what Irvin Yalom describes as our finite life game. In the next chapter, we will explore how you can create your own rules instead of what's been set for you. Life isn't fun to you because you don't realize that you can create your own rules. Because of that, you can't identify challenges worth taking on. You aren't in control of the skill set you can develop to increases the amount of fun you can have in life, which you should do. Let's look at the story of another great mind in history that not only ignored the old age societal rules, but rewrote them completely. The transformation of Arnold Schwarzenegger embodies this philosophy of rewriting life's rules. Born in post-World War II Austria, where success meant following a traditional, modest path, Arnold rejected these predetermined scripts from an early age. When he announced his dream to become the world's greatest bodybuilder, then a Hollywood star, and later a political leader, he faced ridicule and resistance from his family and community. His father envisioned a conventional path for him: marry locally, work a steady job, and live in their small village. But Arnold recognized these as artificial constraints, socially constructed rules that didn't have to be his reality. Instead of accepting the limited menu of life choices presented to him, he created his own rule book. He began bodybuilding at 15, won Mr. Universe at 20, conquered Hollywood despite thick accent and unusual name, which producers initially wanted him to change, and ultimately became governor of California, a combination of achievements that defied conventional wisdom about what was possible. In his autobiography, Total Recall, Arnold explains how he turned traditional obstacles into advantages. His accent, which many said would kill his acting career, became his trademark in films like Terminator. His unconventional background in bodybuilding, which political opponents tried to use against him, helped him connect with voters as a non-traditional candidate. As he often says, the rules of the game do not change, only the way that you play it. Today at 76, he continues to defy age-related conventions, maintaining an active career as an author, climate change activist, and political commentator while inspiring others through his newsletter and social media presence. His journey demonstrates that life becomes infinitely more exciting when you stop playing by others' restrictive rule books and instead author your own story. The thing is, somewhere along the way, we accepted a pre-written script. Go to school, get good grades, land a stable job, work until retirement. We traded our open-world adventure for someone else's tutorial mode. You were forced to play games others wanted you to play as you grew up. You were told to go to school to complete the quest of getting a good job. Once you got to a certain position in that job, the game ended. Life stopped challenging you. It stopped being fun. You started filling your excess attention with cheap pleasures that numb you from the stress and anxiety of reliving the same boring day over and over again. Life is a vast, open-world sandbox game where most players remain trapped in tutorial mode, faithfully following predetermined scripts written by parents, society, and cultural expectations. This psychological phenomenon, which psychologist Eric Berne termed life scripts, often leaves us playing roles we never auditioned for, like actors handed someone else's screenplay. Yet the exhilarating truth, as Friedrich Nietzsche proclaimed, is that we can be the philosophers, creators, and legislators of our own meaning. Breaking free from what psychologist Robert Kegan calls our inherited meaning-making systems is like discovering you've had admin privileges all along in a game you thought was rigidly coded. The journey ahead beckons with the promise of what Abraham Maslow termed self-actualization, the thrilling realization that you can modify the source code of your own existence. As we step into the next chapter of this awakening, we'll explore how to identify these invisible rules that have been running in your background processes, and more importantly, how to access the developer console of your life to write new ones that align with your authentic self. The game of life becomes infinitely more fun and adventurous when you realize you're not just a player, but also the game designer. There's nothing wrong with a job, not at all, but it's wise to see them as stepping stones, not death sentences. Very few people have a chance at landing jobs that allow for continuous challenge, autonomy, mastery, and all other psychological drivers that make life worth showing up to every day. Because there are so few jobs that offer that. They care about profit more than people, and that's their choice. For most people, they need a side hustle, a business, or creative work to pursue to keep the game of life going. People can say, business isn't for me, I like the structure of a job, yet they don't realize that a business isn't a chaotic lack of structure. It's an opportunity to create the structure you truly enjoy. But what if we could rewrite the code of our daily lives? Consider these 3 principles from game design. 1. Progressive challenge. Instead of avoiding difficulty, games embrace it. Real growth works the same way. 2. Chosen quests. No one forces you to fight the dragon in a game. Your side quests are what make your story unique. 3. Multiple paths to victory. And the beauty of it all is there's never just one way to win. The truth is, you're still playing a game. The question is, whose game are you playing? What rules are you following without questioning? Where can you deliberately make things more challenging? What would make it worth it to show up every day? Find those answers and you'd be on your lane to a life full of purpose. Because life isn't about finding the easy path. It's about creating the path that excites and make you fulfilled. Subscribe and like this video as you continue your journey to a greater purpose.